Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras here with ILTV's Morning Brief.
Haredi lives matter. That's the latest cry coming from ultra-Orthodox communities pushing back against what they say is unfair targeting against their communities amidst the latest outbreak of COVID-19. Pelting officers with eggs and some calling them Nazi anti-Semites. At least 2 people arrested in Jerusalem overnight as demonstrations continued for a second day, setting trash cans on fire and knocking down barriers, cordoning off their neighbourhoods, in one case setting a chemical toilet on fire and pushing it towards police. Many of the neighbourhoods put under lockdown are majority ultra-Orthodox residents. Video like this one of police reprimanding a 13-year-old religious girl for not wearing her mask, prompting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to meet with several Haredi politicians over their complaints of biased and selective enforcement of health regulations. Thousands of self-employed Israelis continue to ache, discovering that stipends for COVID-19 relief could be far less than what the government promised. Ministers approving up to 7,500 shekels for certain workers hit economically by the lockdowns, but many received notifications that they would actually receive less than 2,000.
חצו על הכפתור כדי שהכסף יגיע לחשבונות בימים הקרובים. מחר אנחנו נביא לממשלה את יתרת התוכנית.
That the Prime Minister's promise at the beginning of Sunday's cabinet meeting, saying he plans to closely monitor the implementation of the country's latest aid package.
אנחנו יכולים להתגבר על הקורונה, או לפחות להביא את ישראל לשגרה כלכלית ובריאותית שמאפשרת לנו לחיות בצורה סבירה בשנה הקרובה. זאת המטרה. That
a day after a 10,000-strong non-partisan protest in Tel Aviv for a public in pain, asking for help and lambasting the government for how long it's taking sufficient aid to reach the hands that need it. Israel has an unemployment rate of some 21% now, and the National Employment Service says it saw an increase of people furloughed and registering as unemployed over the weekend, as new closures renewed to stem a resurgence of the deadly virus. Meantime, in the hospital system, a drug emerging as Israel's new weapon against the virus is running low. At least 2 hospitals are unable to get their hands on remdesivir, developed in the United States and delivered to Israel before much of the rest of the world. Doctors are being wowed by the medicine's effectiveness in treating serious patients. But as Israel's stock depletes, the government is reportedly negotiating with the company and using diplomatic connections to procure more. And nurses are threatening to strike over manpower shortages. Almost 670 nurses have reportedly been put into quarantine, even as hospitals across the country reopen coronavirus wards, and no additional nursing staff are reportedly being added. Jack of all trades and masters too, the Israeli Air Force bringing together some of Israel's most elite units to create one new special forces group known as the 7th Wing. With a dedicated intelligence unit and members of the Shaldag Elite Air Force Commando Unit, the Helicopter Combat Search and Rescue Unit 669, the secretive Frontal Landing Unit, which sends specialists deep behind enemy lines, and an assigned school for Special Air Force combat troops, it also boasts a massive organisational and chain of command change, answering only to a commander with the rank of colonel. These Special Forces soldiers will maintain Israel's military superiority from the air, with the unit bringing together the best from each area of expertise, supercharging their effectiveness in the field. The 7th Wing will complement the existing IAF and bolster the force, taking part in both special depth, routine and emergency operations. Speaking at the inauguration ceremony, Israeli Air Force Commanding Officer Major General Amikam Norkin saying that today we stand on the shoulders of our predecessors who dared and acted, and now we are the ones leading.
That's all for now, but for more news from Israel, remember to like ILTV on Facebook and on Instagram, and to subscribe to us on YouTube. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.